Hi, I'm Andrew Suryono. I'm a fine art travel photographer. My goal is to create art that can educate and inspire people about our planet. I work with numerous global clients including National Geographic, SONY, and also numerous government organizations. As a fine art travel photographer, my mission is to create art that educates and inspires people about our planet. I want people to be more aware about the global issues that we are facing and inspire them to take small action that, if combined, can create an impact on our planet. I work with international galleries and museums to showcase and sell my photographs to art collectors. I also work on project assignments with sustainable businesses. Sustainable businesses are businesses that not only make profit but also create positive impact on the planet and the people who lives in it. On my spare time, I also love to teach people photography. I conduct photography workshops locally and internationally via both online and offline methods. I think by learning photography, people will learn more about our world, be inspired by it, and in turn, make them care about our world. I actually didn't plan on becoming a photographer. I hold 2 degrees and none of them have anything to do with photography or art. I got my bachelor's degree in industrial engineering from UC Berkeley, United States, and my master's of business administration degree from Tsinghua University and MIT in Beijing, China. I found photography by accident when I was working in the corporate world. I was working inside a factory in the US shortly after I graduated. It was exciting at first, but soon I feel the job is very mundane, and so I was looking for a new thing to do on the side to kill my boredom in my day-to-day job. At that time, e-commerce was just invented. The idea of uploading a photo online and have people buy them without having to meet you face-to-face really intrigued me. So I decided to try selling some of my items online. I soon realized that if I want to sell more, I needed to take better photos. This is because photos are the only way for your potential buyer to interact with the item that you are selling. This also gives me first-hand experience that photography can be powerful. You can impact people's buying decision by a photograph. So, I decided to learn product photography. My only goal at that time was to create a simple product photo with white and clean background. That was it. But as I got into learning photography, I was totally hooked by the process. Learning product photography gave me a solid foundation in the basics of photography. After I got good at it, I got very interested in using the skills that I learned in different photography fields. I shot landscape, portrait, street, wildlife, basically every subject that I find interesting. Over time, as my love for photography grew, so does my love for travel. I wanted to expand my horizon by seeing different places, subjects, and cultures. I wanted to be inspired in the process and create photographs that can showcase the beauty of our planet. In 2015, I won my first International Photography Award. This was a turning point in my career. I got introduced to a world that I've never known before, and I saw how my photographs can have an impact in a large global scale. As my connection in the photography world grew, I decided to devote most of my time to photography in 2017. In 2018, my photograph, The Orangutan in the Rain, got exhibited in the National Geographic Fine Art Galleries in 9 locations around the US. I am the first Indonesian photographer to be featured in the gallery, and they invited me to do a meet and greet event. It was a fascinating experience for me. I got to meet people who are inspired by my work face-to-face and see the direct impact of my photographs on their lives. It makes me happy when I see how my photographs can have impact on businesses and people's life, no matter how small. In the factory world, we have the concept of Kaizen, which means small but consistent improvement, if combined over time, can have a huge impact. I believe that if I can create small but consistent changes in how business and people learn and view the world, the collective effect will be great in the future. Unlike most professional professions, there really are no specific credentials required to be a photographer. You don't need a degree to be able to take photographs. What matters are the results that you are producing for your clients. As long as you have a strong work ethics and your work brings value to the marketplace and your customer, you can be a professional photographer. People often think photography is easy because it looks easy. It's as if what we are doing is just getting the latest and greatest camera and pressing one button, like this, to create amazing pictures. But the truth is, there are a lot of things going behind the scene. I talk about this greatly in my book, The Traffic Light Photography System. To create an inspiring photographs, you need three things. The first one is to have a vision, which I define as your ability to interpret what you are trying to say in the visual world using light and other visual elements. Second, you need to select the right tools to deliver your vision. This involves selecting the right camera, lenses, accessories, and also post-processing your photos. And the third and the final one is you need to be able to deliver the story of your photo. You do this through visual presentation, whether it's online or on prints. Your visual presentation and your story needs to be able to resonate with your audience. That's how it takes to create an inspiring photograph. In order to be able to do all that, you need practice a lot. So now you know that it's more than just buying the latest gear and pressing a button. I think this is the job for me because I enjoy meeting and connecting with people from various backgrounds. And to see that my work can have an impact on their lives is a big plus. My day-to-day activities as a fine art travel photographer is a combination of traveling, shooting, and finalizing photographs for the final prints, crafting the stories, and reviewing licensing contracts and agreements. A good learning environment would be one that encourages exploration and discovery. You have to be dynamic and not afraid to break your routine. It could be exploring a place that you've never visited before, trying to learn a new language to understand the culture, or living in a certain place for a period of time to learn more about that place. Sometimes when working on assignments with sustainable businesses, I am required to manage the people that I'm working with. Not as their boss, but as an external source that they should listen to on the projects. My prior work experience in a factory requires me to manage people, so I'm pretty comfortable with managing people. Yes, I could write a whole book about people management from my experience working inside a factory. You have to deal with a lot of differences when you manage people because they have different skills and come from different backgrounds. And frictions can occur when there is no strong line of leadership and weak communications. In order to deal with this, as a leader, you should be absolutely crystal clear in your communication, both horizontally with your peers and vertically with your boss. Make sure every team member knows what each other is bringing to the table, and make sure everyone is on board with the goal you are trying to accomplish. Also, let them know you are open to any suggestions or feedbacks from them. The biggest risk that I need to take is to decide whether to keep pursuing the corporate path that I'm already comfortable with or going on my own in a field that I'm passionate about but knew very little and try to make a living there. I realize that our time in the world is finite and we do have a choice on how to spend it. I ask myself, do I want to work hard in things that I truly believe in or just comfortably getting by in life doing something just to make a living? And will I sacrifice my dream for comfort? And my answer to both was no. So in the end, I also asked myself, what's the worst thing that can happen? And all the scenario that I came up with was not as scary as I thought, so I just went for it. Most of the time, I try to minimize the regrets for things that I don't do in my life. So I just asked myself, if I didn't do or follow through on this, would I regret it? If it's a yes, then it's enough motivation for me to push through. Teamwork in my job involves managing a lot of differences. I work with people from different countries with different culture in a different time zone. So you need to be able to manage all those in a project and produce quality results. Working with many differences can be challenging, but it can be very rewarding at the same time. For instance, most of my clients are overseas, so time zone is an issue. Sometimes I have to take a call at midnight to discuss a project with a client. I was about to go to bed, but at his place it's only 8 a.m. In the end, it's about how you manage these differences and try to make it work. Every time I work on the project, I always learn more about myself and the world that I live in. Yes, I have 3 tips for people who wanted to get into this profession. The first one is to remember that the root word of passion is suffering. You need to love the struggle in the things that you love to do. Seek to make mistakes. Mistakes are not final, but a proof that you are taking action. Finding your passion is not a destination, but a never-ending process that you have to go through in life. The second tip is to have a strong desire to learn and evolve as you go. This will make you change as a person, but change is inevitable if you want to grow. There is nothing eternal but change in this world. Let yourself be immersed in the world that we live in and practice in honing your vision through photography. And the third and the final one is to practice Kaizen. Rome is not built in a day. It's good to have a vision of the completed house, but build it brick by brick, day by day. Learn to lay just one brick correctly and do it over and over again. Small and consistent efforts will get you to the end results.